This is episode number 48 of Two Grown-Ups and a Mouse. And in today's episode, we will be talking about Disney Springs again, but this time we're going to be talking about our favorite part of Disney Springs, which is Marketplace.
Everything Disney in and out of the house. Two grown-ups and a mouse.
Hi there, I'm AJ.
I'm Andrew.
And you are listening to Two Grown-Ups and a Mouse.
The podcast.
Yes, thank you for joining us. And apparently you found us, twogrownupsandamouse.com or Two Grown-Ups and a Mouse on all social media, blah, blah, blah. Let's get into the show.
Wow, that was fast.
I know. We don't usually do that.
How rude.
So we talked about Disney Springs 2 episodes ago. We talked about West Side.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talked more specifically about the food trucks because food is yummy.
It is.
We like food a little too much, maybe.
Probably, maybe.
So we talked about the food trucks. And actually, our friend Kate has made a recommendation and a request. She asked us if we could talk about healthy dining at Walt Disney World. And we plan on doing that next episode. We want to make sure we have good pictures available for that for your review. So next episode, you can plan on us talking about healthy dining and maybe even a little vegetarian.
Yeah.
Throw that in there. So we'll talk about some different dining options at Walt Disney World. But today we're going to talk about Marketplace, which is our favorite part of Disney Springs. A lot of the times we will go to Disney Springs. We'll take the boat over from one of the resorts and we'll walk the bridge from the boat dock. In that boat dock area, there's a bridge. So we'll walk it basically to where Marketplace meets Town Center, I believe. That's the section that it meets.
Yeah.
Right. Was that right?
Well,
the landing.
Well, it's the landing and
Right.
Town Center. And
Right.
all three of those areas can kind of converge.
Okay. So we'll take the bridge that way and then walk back.
Right.
So because a lot of the stores that are on West Side are replicated on Marketplace. Or if not the exact same store, a similar store will be over there.
Kind of, sort of. Yes.
Not all of them. They're definitely, it's not a duplicate by any means.
No, it's not a duplicate, but most of the stuff you can find in the Disney branded stores, you can find in Marketplace. But now if you wanted to go get your running shoes,
Right.
there's no running shoe store in Marketplace. And then same, there's no sunglass, whatever the sunglass place is. So
No, exactly.
Right.
And also, yes, there are places to eat in Marketplace, but there are definitely more sit-down table service restaurants in West Side.
Yeah, West Side and the Landing are where you're going to find most of the table service restaurants.
Right. But as you'll see as we go through the list, there are quite a few places that you can eat at, and even some table service places you can eat at in Marketplace.
Right.
But it's kind of like if you're going there for evening entertainment and dining, you might want to go towards West Side. And if you're going there for Disney shopping, you might want to go towards Marketplace.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's my interpretation.
Yeah, they call it Marketplace for a reason.
Right. So there is a dock over there. There are boats that can take you to the West Side. So you can, instead of having to walk all the way from one side to the other. And I did this recently, actually on Black Friday.
Right.
My friend and I did that. We were parked close to West Side. So we took the boat from West Side we were parked over by Marketplace and took the boat from Marketplace to West Side. This way we only had to walk one direction.
Right.
But the boats also go to Port Orleans, both French Quarter and Riverside, to Old Key West, and to Saratoga Springs.
Right.
So if you're staying at any of those resorts, or if you're dining at any of those resorts and you want to hop over to Disney Springs, you could always take a boat over there.
Right. And it includes the Treehouse Villas, which is part of Saratoga, but
Right.
they're kind of semi-separate. So
Right. So when you first walk in, if you're coming from the boats, there is a Mickey-shaped splash fountain, which is really great for younger children, or if it's really hot outside. Personally, I avoid it.
Older children?
Yes, you are a child, but you avoid it also.
Yeah, I've never gone into it.
We don't really feel like getting, sopping wet. But hey, some people like that. And
Yeah.
when it's really cold, they will turn it off. But honestly, it's on most days out of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, we've gone there when it's a little bit chilly for our taste and it's still on.
Yep.
And that's just something. They have some of those in I know they have one in Epcot. I can envision. They might have some other ones because we don't have kids. We don't really look for those, but there is that splash fountain, and there's also restrooms.
There's a big one in Magic Kingdom now.
Oh, is there? I never paid attention.
Right in front of Goofy's roller coaster.
Oh, that makes sense.
And the train station.
Right. Yeah, but is that a splash fountain from the ground, or is that the stuff that splashes from the top?
Yes.
I think that's the stuff that splashes from the top.
It splashes from all over.
Sure. So, but I can picture it now.
Yeah.
There's the Mickey fountain, as we were just discussing, and restrooms, which are really nice because, sometimes we'll be eating at Saratoga and then we'll take the boat over and then we'll need to use the restroom. So it's kind of like, yeah, let's go do that before we start shopping.
Sure.
And the map still shows Designity as the first store, but that's not there anymore.
Right.
I think that might be partly due to all the people making their own tees. I have my own Cameo Silhouette, which is a heat transfer vinyl, vinyl cutter, cardstock cutter. It's a cutting machine tool. Sure. So I think that they're not as popular having those design tees. But I believe you can still order through Shop Disney. You can still find some design your own tees.
Right. Well, I mean, it was always, when we walked in there, it never seemed that busy. I mean, there was a lot of people playing with stuff. Playing with all the different designs, but I never really saw that many people buying. And it makes sense because one of the most popular customized shirts we see are, so-and-so's family vacation. So you're not going to go to Disney and make the shirt. I mean, I guess some people did, right. But most people ordered those ahead of time. So,
well, not that we're that big, but what I liked about it is I believe you could get up to like 6X there. It was either somewhere between 4X and 6X. So if you're on the larger side, it was nice that even though you couldn't find a shirt inside the park, you could still find the shirt on property.
Right.
So it could be a, quote, Disney shirt because you would purchase it there. So I did like that. But like I said, that you can still get them ahead of time at shopdisney.com.
Sure.
Or you might even be able to go directly to Zazzle. I believe they have a contract with them, but don't quote me on that. So then there is, right next to that area, there's the Wonderful World of Memories. And they have a lot of frames and different writing utensils. They sell some hats there. They do the hat embroidery.
They do the hat embroidery. They do the customized hats where, you can put different ears on them, put different patches on them. They have the scrapbooking stuff.
Right.
Etc. So.
And then one of our favorite stores, the Art of Disney, where you can get original artwork.
That's right.
And replicas and G-clays and things that aren't necessarily pictures. They have a lot of sculptures, or not sculptures, but like statues, different kinds of art.
Right. Yeah, they have a wide selection of basically everything. So, and they cover all price points pretty much as well. I mean, you can go in there and find something for probably under $20. That'll be a nice keepsake. Yeah, I mean some of the smaller pictures and prints and stuff.
No, but I think now they're about 30 or 35, but not expensive, but not necessarily under 20.
Well, but some of the smaller stuff too, and then obviously the original artwork that can go up into the thousands. So
right. So, but it's a great store, and sometimes they have artists come to town. Larry Dotson, you'll find there once in a while. He's local. He also goes to Epcot a lot. We have some of his artwork, but I don't think you can see it behind us because behind us we have hand painted cells.
Right.
So if you're watching on YouTube, those are the people I am talking to about seeing behind us. If you're listening on the podcast, you're probably not going to see behind us.
No, hopefully not.
But I digress. Disney's Days of Christmas is in that area. That's open year round. And that's really nice because they know that people will go to Walt Disney World and it's not Christmas time, but they want to have a keepsake or an ornament or something they can use at Christmas time, or they want to decorate with Disney memorabilia. So it's nice that that store is open. And of course, for people like me who are Jewish, they have Hanukkah stuff as well. Right. Not as much, but a lot of the ornaments aren't too Christmassy, which I like because they happen to be ornaments. So if you want to hang it on a ornament tree, which we've had out for a while, we put ours away.
We've had a few.
Right. They're not Christmassy. They're just, ornaments. It's really nice.
Sure.
And Rainforest Cafe and Lava Lounge are over in that area. That is not a Disney restaurant, but it's a very popular restaurant.
Yep.
We live not too far because, we're not too far from Fort Lauderdale. So we're near a rainforest. If we want to go to Rainforest, we can just go. We don't need to go to Disney to go to Rainforest. But a lot of people like to visit that restaurant when they go visit Walt Disney World.
Well, it's definitely a good, interesting show and experience while you eat as well. So.
Yeah, I think it's really great if you have younger kids. They tend to enjoy it, but beware that it can be rather loud in there.
Oh, it will be loud in there.
So it's a type of restaurant that you might need ear protection for younger children or people who are sound sensitive, because even I could go for some earplugs when I go into Rainforest or T-Rex, who are owned by the same company.
Yep.
So very similar style, but definitely different menus. Wolfgang Puck Express is over on that side.
Yep.
And that's like almost table service, but it's definitely quick service. You go in, you place your order, they give you a number, you go sit down, and then someone brings you your food. So it's kind of like that mishmash that's become pretty popular.
Right.
Then at one end of the bridge is Aristocrapes. And there are probably, I want to say between 4 and 6 kiosks that are on the bridge, but they don't even list those on the map because I think that those have a tendency to change over relatively frequently.
Yeah, there's a few of them that are just kind of knick-knacky type things.
Right. Goofy's Candy Company is in Marketplace. And when we talked about West Side, it was the Candy Cauldron.
Right.
I believe that Goofy's Candy is substantially bigger.
Yeah, it's probably twice the size in terms of walking around space.
Right. And at Goofy's they have the frozen, the glaciers, the Goofy's glaciers, which they don't have at Candy Cauldron.
Right.
And you can get a sample of that. Just go, they have about 6 flavors. It's between 6 and 8 flavors. So you can go in there and say, hey, can I try whatever?
Yep.
And the sample is just a little cup, but it's honestly perfect, just for something cool. If you're really hot and you just want a little taste of something sweet, it's really great to get a sample of that.
Yep. They're a good size.
The Art Corner by Artistic Talent Group is relatively new. And they have some art things going in there. I'm getting some feedback right now. I apologize if you
feedback?
It's,
in your headset? Oh.
Yes, something's going on with my cord.
Oh.
So that's the hesitation you just heard from me. I'm like listening to that, weird sound.
The Art Corner is new. That was where Little Mismatched was.
Right, which were socks that you could get a set of socks, and one sock would be one thing, one sock would be different. So they would kind of sort of match, but not be exact matches.
Right. And that moved over to West Side.
They did? I didn't even think they were open over there.
And I think they may have closed.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing them when we were walking.
But so the art thing is new, and it's just it's more art, but it's not the really dedicated Disney art kind of thing. When we walked in there, it's a little more.
They had like make a scarf or a table runner.
Right, they had that.
Or I think that you could do the they could draw your silhouette there. Yep, I think they had artists inside doing silhouettes, because I even commented to them. I'm like, you must really like being inside because it's not as hot as outside.
Right. It's that kind of artwork kind of thing going on. So.
The Star Wars Trading Post has a little bit of clothes, a little bit of knickknacks, a little bit of Star Wars toys, but it's, Star Wars is so popular and a big part of Disney now. It's been a part of Disney for a while, but it's become bigger and bigger. So having a little dedicated store outside of Hollywood Studios is kind of nice.
Sure.
There's the Marketplace Carousel. And isn't there also a train?
There is.
On that, I didn't notice that on the map. I just realized that. For younger children, there is a carousel and a train. You do have to pay for it, but it's a relatively inexpensive thing to do.
Yep.
And they have some smaller stores and kiosks on that side, including Lefty's, the left-hand store, Happy Hound kiosk, Initial Rings Cart, and Pearl Factory. I'm not sure if those are updated because, as I said, I just looked at the map today and found some things not updated, which is a little disturbing to me because it's a website. You can update it automatically. I don't know why they haven't updated it, because that T-store has not been there in a while.
Right.
We love Disney. We really do. But sometimes they can use a little bit of help.
Well,
nothing against them. It's just sometimes, the Disney Pin Traders is great.
And it's one of the bigger pin store, pin trading places on property.
Right. I mean, it's really a great location to go to if you're looking for an event pin. They more likely than not will have it there. When they have Funko Pop releases, they're still pretty popular. Those Funko Pop collectibles, they often will release them there or at least have them available there. They have a nice selection of magic bands at that store. So that's a really great store to go to for different smaller priced items.
Now, to be clear, the event pins are not the event pins that might be at a park. So they probably won't have like a food and wine festival pin. They wouldn't have a Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party pin, but they would have an Easter pin or general holidays. Or,
right. Sorry. Yeah, I was talking about things like Nurses Day.
Right.
Mardi Gras.
And honestly,
that was the type of event I was referring to.
Right.
Like, I guess more holiday-ish or holidays and celebrations.
Right.
That's probably a better way to word it. Because like you said.
And you're most likely going to find, especially the weird ones, because, like Mardi Gras, is such a small holiday in South Florida that nobody really pays attention to it. So, but you will find a Mardi Gras pin every year at pin traders.
Well, especially once Princess and the Frog came out, because that happens in Louisiana. So they tend to use one of the characters from that movie on their Mardi Gras
They have a lot
pins.
of the other special event days. Not all of them, but I've seen the Doctor's Day. I've seen a Nurse's Day. I've seen a lot of those kinds of pins as well. So
There is the Spice and Tea Exchange inside of Mickey's Pantry, and that's a lot of kitchenware, dishes and glassware and that type of merchandise, a lot of magnets in there, cookbooks in there. Right. The Spice store is not owned by Disney.
No.
But it's one of your favorite stores.
It is, because there's a lot of specialty spices that you can find in there that you're just not going to find in your average everyday grocery store. So, and then except when people accidentally drop them on the floor and waste $30 or $40 worth of salt,
truffle salt.
Well, the house smelled very truffly for a couple days. It didn't
smell good. I really enjoy my truffle salt and I really enjoy my truffle oil, but I don't enjoy it when it reeks of truffle.
Right.
But it tastes good in small doses. And yes, I dropped the truffle salt shaker, and broke it. And
the brand new, never been opened. But either way.
Where's some wah-wah?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So it's very expensive considering that it's just salt with a little bit of truffle in it, but
it lasts forever.
It does last forever, and it's a nice way. Like I said, you don't find spices like that everywhere or anywhere really. So, and it's nice because you can make a cheap basket of tater tots and throw some truffle salt on it. Now you have a gourmet tater tot experience. So
sure you do. Anyway. So we were talking about restaurants earlier. Right. I said there's not a lot of table service restaurants, but there are definitely places to eat. So another one is Earl of Sandwich is over there. And my personal favorite is going to Earl of Sandwich for their breakfast sandwiches. I do enjoy those. I don't know that I've really had lunch or dinner there. Or if I did, it was only once or twice. But I have had...
I don't know if we ever have.
Right, but we've had breakfast there a couple of times. And it's a nice breakfast. It fills us up. They do have a Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique location in Marketplace, which is really nice if you have young kids. But of course, you will need to make a reservation. I'm not sure how likely you would be able to get a walk-in appointment, but anything is possible.
Sure.
And the Void, Step Beyond Reality, that's like virtual gaming, isn't it?
I think it is, but I don't. I read about it, but I don't recall the details.
Right. It's like a 30-minute experience. You pay for it. It's just something to do. So there are definitely things to do in Marketplace other than just shopping.
Right.
And actually, Once Upon a Toy is over there. And that used to be a larger toy store, but they shortened it to make space for Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and the Void.
Right.
They're now kind of in the back of Once Upon a Toy. Once Upon a Toy is now a very small toy store, which is fine because there's plenty of other places to buy toys. If you want Star Wars toys, you go to the Star Wars store trading post, the Star Wars trading post that we were just talking about.
Right.
So they kind of separated some of the toys out and kept what was necessary. And then they call this place Marketplace Snacks, but that ain't what it is.
Right. Well, Actually, it isn't. There's a different sign on it. I'm surprised that they don't. It's called Dockside Margaritas.
Yeah. Because Andrew knows that place very well.
Well, it's very conveniently located to the Disney PhotoPass location that's inside of, right behind the crystal store. So
there is a Disney PhotoPass studio, which is basically as we're coming along, but as Andrew said, it's basically across from the margaritas. The Dockside Margaritas. And if you have a PhotoPass as part of your annual pass, or if you purchased Memory Maker, you can, or even if you haven't purchased either, you can have your pictures taken for free. They're not going to charge you to take your pictures. You just get charged if you want to download the pictures if it is not already part of one of your packages.
Right.
So I like to go there with my friends or my friends and family. I was just there recently when I went back and did the tea party. Mm-hmm. Went up to Orlando without Andrew.
Yep.
Oh my. Can you believe it? Brought my mom there. It was her Mother's Day gift. She had a great time. So we went to the Disney PhotoPass service studio and had a bunch of pictures taken. And what's nice is you stand in front of a green screen and they can put Magic Kingdom behind you, Epcot behind you, lots of different choices to put behind you.
Right.
So we had a lot of pictures taken that day, which was really nice.
Well, it's one of the, I think it is the only really, it's almost basically a full photo studio type setup. So, and then there's the 2 bays and.
Well, I think one of the reasons that they had it there, or one of the reasons they put Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. Well, actually, no, Bibbidi Bobbidi used to be inside of World of Disney. They just moved it outside. I think they expanded it. But it's nice that if you go to Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and you spend all this money to have hair and makeup done for your child, then you can go have your photos taken, and you might even get a package that includes it. But again, I don't want to misspeak, so look into that.
Right.
But it is a possibility that it might be included in one of the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique packages. But like I said, they don't charge you to take your photos, so it's definitely worth stopping by, having some photos taken. Yep. If you don't have a package, then there is going to be a watermark on the photo, so you can't just download it and say, "Ha, I got my picture."
Right.
But still, it's a fun thing to do. It takes up a little time, and it's indoors, so you're not going to get too sweaty.
Right.
So Trendy is over there. That's a really great store. Basically all female clothes in there. I don't see any male clothes, but
there's no men's clothes. They used to have a couple of men's accessories. That's where I bought my very first Harvey's wallet.
Right.
Or my very first couple of Harvey's wallets. But other than that, there's never been anything for men in there.
They moved the Harveys and the Doonies out of Trendy, though they still have Alex and Ani bracelets in there.
Right.
But not like the Pandora charms, because we'll get to that in a second about where you can find those. There's the Marketplace Co-op right next to Trendy, which is basically 6 changing stores plus a center section that also changes. And they don't change frequently, but they have the ability to change. They weren't set to be like, this is going to be there forever.
Well, they have evolved over time.
Right.
Right. So it's, there's another art thing in there that actually grew to be bigger while the travel one got smaller. And then now the pet supplies.
Well, we haven't told them what any of these are.
Oh, okay.
There's D-Tech on demand where you can get magic bands and phone cases to your design. Right. And they have some ready-made ones there as well. Yep. And then it says Disney Tag on the map, but it's not a Disney Tag store anymore because it's now the pet supply store.
Right.
Next to that is the Wonderground Gallery, which it is a Wonderground Gallery, which is artwork. But they have some artwork. They do have some Wonderground clothing in there as well.
Right.
But all the clothing is still in that section is all the Wonderground style. Then there is Cherry Tree Lane, which I just call the dress shop. If I say, hey, I'm going to the dress shop, I'm actually referring to Cherry Tree Lane, which I think I told you. I didn't realize that Cherry Tree Lane is from Mary Poppins.
Well, it makes sense now.
Yeah. 28 in Main is not there anymore. I mean, it is. It's basically the same store, but they don't really make 28 in Main items anymore.
Right.
That was kind of like their men's designer line. Really nice stuff. You bought a couple items from there.
Yeah.
But you can't really find 28 in Main items anymore.
Yeah, but and the store is still there, and it's still It's trying to balance the trendy part. So
Exactly. It's basically like the nicer men's clothing
right.
and accessory store.
Right. Without going into the fancier stuff. Well, actually, no. There is some. You'll find there's ties and that kind of stuff in there, but a lot of the
not
other stuff,
super fancy, but fancy enough.
Yeah.
Right after the men's store, there's the PhotoPass service, which we already talked about.
Right.
And then outside of there, there's some face painting and temporary tattoos. So again, something that you can do with your kids or the adults. You know, there's no age limit on either of those. So anybody can enjoy that. And then Crystal Arts by Rebus Brothers. And almost all the time they have a glass blower. It's rare that we've gone there that they haven't had a glass blower working.
Right. And then, which is kind of a show in itself. And, you know, you just stand there and watch them design some of the glass artwork that is there. So,
yeah, it hurts my eyes.
Well,
but you like to watch it.
Well, it's interesting because they make it look so easy, and then
every time we go into that store, you have to take a picture of.
Well, I take a picture of a few things. So
no, but every time we go into that store, you take a picture of the Swarovski Darth Vader.
Yeah, I have been doing that lately.
Every time.
Well, mostly I'm trying.
We have a lot of pictures of it, but he keeps on taking them.
I'm trying to capture because the picture is really hard. You can't really see what it looks like when you're looking at it in a picture.
It's too shiny.
Well, it's too expensive.
What is it, like 30,000? I think.
No. The castle is like 30,000.
No, the castle is like 100,000.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Castle's the price of my house.
No. You'll see. We'll go. We'll check it out the next time we're there.
We are going to check it out and find out which one of us is right.
That's right.
We might both be right because they have multiple castles. Yes.
The Swarovski.
Swarovski.
Yeah, whatever.
The swan rhinestones.
Yeah, the Crystal Palace, Magic Kingdom. You know, that one is 35. Now they also have a glass blown one, but even that one isn't 100.
They're expensive.
They're
all expensive, and they're beautiful, and I'm sure they're worth every penny, but they're quite expensive.
Right. There's
a Ghirardelli soda fountain and chocolate shop, which also has a restroom located there. There's a restroom located outside of Trendy, just in case anybody's wondering where these hidden restrooms are. It's like hidden gems finding a restroom.
Well, yeah, they're around.
But
I think they stopped doing free samples of Ghirardelli chocolates.
I think you can ask them for a sample. They used to have a basket. You would walk in, they're holding a basket of chocolate, and they would just hand it to you. I think, as Andrew just said, that they did stop that, but if you ask them for a sample, they will give it to you. But again, don't quote either of us on that one. Silhouette Portraits cart is over there, even though they're inside of that art store. But I was there the other day and I saw the portraits cart.
All right.
And if you want to get your picture drawn, like a silhouette or a caricature, actually, you know what? Maybe it was caricatures inside of the art store and silhouettes over here. Because they're different. Right. I mean, they're both hand drawn. They're both art, but they're different. You know.
Right.
They do usually have, not usually. They do often have caricaturists at some of the higher end resorts, such as French Quarter. I know we've seen the caricaturist there. You know, they have the set hours, so they make it easy because there's a couple places you can go and have that done. And there is Basin, which is very popular. I personally like to go into that store when my hands are dry and I go find some lotion and I'm happy.
Well, yeah, they have lots of samples out. I can't walk by it. It stinks.
No, that was the next thing I was going to say. I'm asthmatic and I can walk in there, put the lotion on, and then I have to walk away. My friends like to go in there and look around. I'm like, I'm going to be waiting inside of a Rebus Brothers because I can't breathe.
I mean,
literally.
The worst part is, it smells good. But it's just so overpowering.
Yeah, it does smell beautiful. I really enjoy it. But as I've gotten older, my asthma has become more sensitive. So it's a very strong scent. So just be prepared for that. But sometimes walking around, you know, and everything, your hands get dry. So it's nice that I just run in there. Though honestly, over in one of the other sections, there's a Lestane. I don't know how to pronounce it. There's a couple of places that sell lotion. So I have bought lotion on property before.
Right.
I bought these little tiny lotions, which are perfect for throwing in my bag.
Well, yeah, that's in the other section.
Right, but there's places on, in each section basically that you can find where you can buy a small thing of a lotion should you need it.
Sure.
There is a food truck over in Marketplace. Right now it's the Four Rivers Cantina. We haven't tried that one yet.
Nope.
And there is a Marketplace stage, and a lot of schools perform there. It's not really entertainment like you would find at, what am I thinking of on West Side? The whole place,
House of Blues?
Thank you. I went brain dead.
Well, House of Blues is basically a full concert hall auditorium. So you'll actually find, larger bands and stuff.
Right. No, but we started the episode and I mentioned how when you go to Marketplace, it's mostly shopping.
Right.
There is a little bit of everything, but yeah, you're not going to be able to go bowling. You're not going to be able to watch a movie. You're not going to be able to see a House of Blues concert.
Right.
I mean, yes, of course you could if you walked to the other side, but if you stayed inside of Marketplace,
right,
it's not that type of entertainment. But yeah, sometimes you're pleasantly surprised because you're going by there and there might be a school band, there might be some dancers, there, might be a choir. There's a lot of different people that come in and use that space, and that's always free.
Right.
So it's free entertainment. What's also nice, if there's not something going on, when I was there last weekend, I sat there to eat because there's stadium seating, not stadium seating, but there's seating over in that area. So it's really nice that, because there's a lot of quick service places where you can just grab a bite, there's some place that you could sit down and enjoy it.
Right.
Speaking of which, some of those quick service places, there's a Wetzel's Pretzels and a Joffrey's handcrafted smoothies, which you might remember we said there's another one of those in West Side.
Right.
And of course, there's a Starbucks, which there's also one in West Side.
Yep.
This Starbucks is right outside of World of Disney. It's just a walk-up Starbucks. There's no place to sit. There's no indoor seating. But again, it's right by that stage. So plenty of seats in the area, just not indoor seating.
Right.
And World of Disney is the world's largest character store. It's had a makeover and an upgrade, which is now complete. They even redid the costuming of the cast members there.
Yep.
They wear jeans that are, it was funny. I asked them, I was like, do you provide your own jeans or does Disney provide them? And they said Disney provides them. So the jeans are all the same, but still it's got to be nice that they can go to work in jeans and it's like a button down long sleeve shirt with little Mickeys on it. So it's not so traditional Disney.
Right.
That very straight laced, for lack of a better description.
Well,
it's a little more casual, it's more with the times, which is kind of nice that Disney said,
Yeah, it's a bit more modern for sure.
Yeah, it's nice that Disney did that.
And this is one of the stores where basically you can find anything, nearly anything Disney. If you saw something in the park and kind of forgot about it or didn't pick it up, you probably will find it in the World of Disney. So
yeah, they have clothes, they have kitchenware, they have kids
toys.
Stuff, adult stuff, toys, jewelry. Though they don't really have Doonies in there because Trendy is not far from there, or even the
well, the dress shop has all the Doonies too. So
right, I mean so the higher end stuff they did kind of separate out of there, like Ever After.
Right.
Even though Ever After isn't in Marketplace, it's not far from there. It's just a little bit west of there.
Right.
So if you want a Doonie, you can go a Doonie or a Harvey's or another, Loungefly, Danielle Nicole, any of the name brand bags. You can go towards the west and go to Ever After. You can go to the east and go to Cherry Tree Lane, aka the dress shop. So those aren't inside of World of Disney, but like Andrew said, almost everything else is. I mean, they definitely have a large selection, which is why it's the world's largest Disney character store.
Yep.
Lots of registers there, and sometimes you'll see a line and it looks really long, but they do have a lot of registers and they do move pretty fast. Yeah,
they're pretty good about if there's a lot of people, there'll be a lot of people doing checkout. So
and it's one of those where it's like one long line and they just say next next guest,
Right.
next guest, next. So it does move really fast. So don't let it discourage you if you go in there and you're like, oh my God, this line is really long, because my experience has been it's moved pretty fast.
Oh, yeah.
There's the Lego store, which Andrew likes, for kids and big kids alike.
That's right. Because they have Legos.
But what our friends that have kids, they like it. They like to go to T-Rex, which is another place. They have T-Rex, Build a Dino, and the Dino Store. Again, T-Rex is owned by the same company as Rainforest Cafe. The food's really good, but again, it's a little bit loud in there. But T-Rex, what you can do, if you don't have a reservation, you can walk up, put your name in, and they give you a time to return. So that's what our friends do. They go up there, they give their name, they get a time to return, they go over to the Lego store, and at the Lego store on the outside, but it's underneath a covering, you can build a race car, and they have Lego race car races, or you could just build the Legos out there. So it's very interactive, and it can keep our friend's child, who's 8, he can be occupied with the Lego store for hours.
Right.
He really enjoys that. Then there's the Daily Poutine, aka gross. I don't like gravy. I am not a fan of gravy.
Well, here you can get the Italian one. It's French fries,
I don't
mozzarella.
want crap all over my French fries.
And bolognese.
Pardon my French. Crap isn't the best word, but that's what I'm going to call it. I just want a French fry. Maybe some cheese on it. I'm not big on putting stuff on my fries.
Yeah, unless it came that way.
Classic poutine, French fries, beef poutine gravy, and cheddar curds. Does not at all sound appetizing to me. But if you like it, more power to you. I'm just saying, not a fan. I mean, French poutine, mushroom cream sauce, doesn't sound good to me. I like Gruyere cheese, but can't do the mushroom cream sauce. So yeah, I have no desire to try the Daily Poutine. Sorry.
Huh.
You're more than welcome to.
How rude.
Hey, you can do it. And the last thing that we'll talk about at the marketplace is BB Wolf's Sausage Company. That's at one end of the bridge. Earlier I mentioned Aristocrapes, which is at the far end of the bridge. And then BB's is at the other end of the bridge. So, and those are both also quick service places. Again, my sound is going a little bit wacky. So,
No, you're fine.
well, it sounded wacky to me. You guys might think I sound okay, but
I think just your headphones probably.
yeah, it's not plugged in properly.
Right.
So it's like it's going out. But either way, it's okay, because I'm going to make Andrew fix it, and I'm going to go get something to eat, and we're going to stop talking about Marketplace.
Okay.
Unless you have something else you want to talk about.
No.
Because we pretty much covered all of them.
Yeah, I think
That's
that's a pretty good outline of everything at Marketplace.
Currently, as of June 2019.
Yeah.
So that's when we were there visiting it.
Right.
It's a great place to go. And a lot of times when we go to Disney Springs, we just go to Marketplace. I mean, or I go to Ever After, the purse and jewelry store, because I collect them. But that's very close to Marketplace. So we tend to stay, the majority of our stay will be in Marketplace.
Right.
Some people tend to go down there and they just stay in West Side. I mean, whatever works for you. For us, we find that pretty much everything we want is over in Marketplace or just outside of it. So we like to go there.
Right.
We have been to the movies in Disney Springs.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was raining, so we decided to go to the movies one night.
Yep.
We saw Star Wars there. Actually, it was the second time because we had already seen it.
Yeah.
So, excuse me, but generally speaking, we don't spend a lot of time anywhere other than Marketplace. That's our favorite part of Disney Springs and one of our favorite parts of Walt Disney World.
Yep.
The resort in general. I mean, we're perfectly happy going to Walt Disney World and just going to Marketplace, going to Disney Springs and just walking around doing some shopping, people watching,
Right.
get something to eat, stuff like that.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, thank you again for listening. Next week, again, we are planning on doing healthy dining. So if you have a suggestion, the way she recommended it to us is she follows us on Instagram, which we are Two Grown-Ups and a Mouse. Mm-hmm. So of course we do read our Instagram. We're constantly in our social media. We are looking, so you can contact us there, Facebook, Twitter.
Yep.
Go to our website. There's a contact us form. Everything is Two Grown-Ups and a Mouse. And of course, the website is twogrownupsandamouse.com. Tell your friends and family, rate, review, and like. And I'm going to go get something to eat. So on that note, I am going to say good night.
Good morning.
No, maybe good afternoon,
Good evening.
or just goodbye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.